Please, ladies and gentlemen, help me welcome Dr. Rabia Khatoon. Dr. Rabia is a language instructor at King Abdulaziz University. Um, she has completed her bachelor's in education, TEFL certification, diploma in TESOL, and IELTS train the trainers certifications. She has also master's degree in English Language and Linguistics, and mashallah, she has finished her PhD this year. And her areas of interest are language pedagogy, instruction of writing to ESL and DFL learners, and collocations. She also works with us, the Academic Writing Center, as a writing consultant and a coordinator in the training and development um, uh, unit. She has also conducted talks and workshops, poster presentations at several international and national events, such since she is a particularly committed person to her professional development, mashallah, tabarakallah. And please, uh, we are so honored to have you as a presenter this time. Uh, please, the floor is yours, Dr. Rabia.
Thank you, Ms. Dua, for this introduction. I'm so glad that I've been asked to come and present for our students. Hello, everyone. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. Welcome to our today's session. And the title is Winning Words and How to Write Impactful Argumentative Essays. So I'm excited to have you today. And we are going to explore how we can craft arguments that could persuade your readers, and by the end of the session, I hope you will be able to build strong evidence-based arguments, and then you will be able to organize essay for clarity and flow, and you will be able to use impactful language to convince your readers to read your essays. So feel free to jot down your notes, and remember it is an interactive session. So type your questions in the chat box and time, and we'll be able to answer and interact with you. So, so these are the objectives of our sessions: how to build strong evidence-based arguments, organize essay for clarity and flow, and use impactful language to persuade your readers. And now, first of all, let's talk about the definition of argumentative essay. What exactly is an argumentative essay? Let's throw in this question to our audience. What do you think about the nature of argumentative essay, and why do we write those essays? You can give one word, two word answers actually. Debating an idea. Yes, Ms. Dua, very good. Anyone else? So, as Ms. Dua mentioned, it is about debating an idea, and essentially it is a type of writing where you take a clear stance on a topic and support it with evidence and reasoning. So, in order to fulfill the requirement of an argumentative essay, you should be able to provide appropriate evidences and reasoning skills. Yes, Ms. Rana, convince the readers. Strong opinion. Yes, absolutely. So, unlike persuasive essay that might rely heavily on the emotions, argumentative essay focuses on logic, and they are focused on credible proof. Yes, Mr. Walid, debatable issues, absolutely. For example, if the topic is should AI be allowed in classrooms? Like, let's say this is your topic. So your essays should present reasons behind your stance and evidence, and not just your own opinion that if you like AI, so you enforce it in your classrooms. No, you need to provide the backup evidence and reasoning to prove your point why your classes need to have AI practice. So let's talk about core component of argumentative essay. A strong essay begins with a clear thesis statement. So what is a thesis statement, by the way? Our very favorite thesis statement is the one where you express your main argument or your central idea. And it helps to give your readers a sense of direction and purpose of your essay. Next, you need to have supporting reasons. So you have introduced your essay or your writing with a good thesis statement. To back up that, you need to support it with ample evidence and proof. So these are the points that explains why your thesis is valid and why your readers should believe you. Okay? So each reason should be backed up with a good evidence, such as facts, examples, or expert opinions, so that your argument is more convincing and reliable. Remember to include the counter arguments and rebuttals. Why do we need counter arguments? Why are those so important? Because since you're writing an argument on a given topic, you must address opposing views also. That shows that you have done your reading, you have done your homework, and you know about different perspectives and ideologies, and you know how you can defend your position thoughtfully and thoroughly. Finally, your essay should be well organized with ideas flowing smoothly from one paragraph to the next, because you know structure matters. So just like a lawyer is presenting a case, so every part of your essay should work together to support the main idea clearly and precisely, and of course persuasively. Now, when the writers are writing an argumentative essay, there are some common pitfalls or mistakes we tend to make. So let's look at some frequent problems, including writing a thesis that is too broad or unclear, because sometimes your thesis statement is too general, which makes the main point hard to follow. And additionally, um we can say that others may rely too heavily on emotions and personal feelings instead of logical reasoning. That weakens the essay's credibility. So, as we mentioned before, your argumentative essay should have an objectivity as well as based on evidence and proof, not on your personal opinion. Another reason to encounter a problem in writing an argumentative essay is using not enough evidence or evidence that doesn't directly support your claim. That confuses your readers or makes the argument seem unconvincing to them. And finally, if you're ignoring counter arguments or opposing viewpoints, your essay will appear one sided or loop sided. So later we will look at a few examples where these types of mistakes might happen that jeopardize your whole purpose of writing an argumentative essay. So moving on, how we can build an evidence-based argument correctly. So to do that, to make your arguments truly persuasive, you need to have strong, reliable evidence to back them up. Okay, so as we all know, we need to have some research skills to gather good evidence, which are coming from credible and verifiable sources, such as research studies. You have internet, you have statistics, expert opinions, some documentation from the real world. These are a few of the examples. Okay, so and eventually these sources are going to help you establish the authority and make your claim more reliable. And I often recommend my students to go for latest resources, latest research, and look at the citation index of that particular research, because it will increase the credibility of your arguments. So avoid using unsupported statements or personal experiences alone, as they may seem biased or weak. So when your argument is grounded in solid evidence, or reader are more likely to trust your reasoning and agree with your viewpoint. Okay, so for that you need to include statistics, experts' opinions, and real life examples. Sorry for the interruption. Okay, so let's talk about how to craft a claim. Yes. So when we are starting to write an argument, we should have a clear, focused, and debatable thesis statement. Okay. So your thesis should not just state a fact, but it should state a position that can be argued and supported with some reasons. Okay. So a simple way to form one is by using this formula where you are taking your topic, your position, and the reason that you are advocating for. For instance, uh, rather than claiming that AI is good for education since you like it, this is not a good thesis statement. You can broaden it a bit and improve it by giving some logistics or some relevant ideas like AI tools enhance students' learning by improving feedback and engagement. So, in this way, your readers will anticipate that your paragraph or your essay is going to be about feedback and engagement and how that could be enhanced by using AI skills. Okay? So, as this version clearly shows what you believe and why, and it will guide your readers to expect an evidence that supports your stance. And that's why we need to have well crafted thesis to act as a roadmap. Now, we mentioned counter arguments before, yani opposing ideas. Why do we need to have opposing ideas in argumentative essay? Why do you think we should include opposing ideas or counter arguments in our argumentative essay? Any ideas from you will be welcome. Why do you want to include counter arguments? That's the question. Yes. To lay strong and logic ideas, eliminate chances of bias, critical thinking, to make it logic. Yes, to make it logically strong, so we can give insights from other people's arguments. That's a very good answer. Yeah, we need to bring a balance in our argumentative essay to strengthen the argument. Absolutely, to let the reader know that we have done our homework and we know both sides of the story, both side of the argument. We know that, so it brings the credibility, a source of credibility in your essay. So as you all mentioned, acknowledging other side makes you sound more credible. Okay, and if someone argues AI reduces creativity, sorry, where are my slides? Okay. Yeah, if someone says that AI reduces creativity, you can respond by, while some believe AI reduces creativity, evidence shows that it can actually enhance critical thinking when used thoughtfully. So, so one of the target that we achieve by introducing a counter argument is to give the rebuttal and to give further evidence to negate that counter argument, that even though many people or different researchers have this Fala viewpoint, it's still you can still go ahead and provide the rebuttal with proof and evidence. Like in this case, that the writer is saying that of course people think that AI reduces creativity, but if you use it thoughtfully, it can improve your critical thinking skills. So you can defend your position with multiple perspectives. Okay. Now let's have a look at how to organize your essay for clarity and flow. So a clear structure ensures your ideas and connect logically. Even the best ideas can get lost if your essay is messy. So structure is everything. Okay. So a classical format for your essay is our beloved introduction, body, and conclusion. So we all know about this structure. It very much resembles with a sandwich. The top layer is introduction, the middle good parts are body paragraphs, and the last layer is conclusion. So our essay, structure should look like this, with clear distinction between introduction and conclusion, and of course we have the detailed body parts in between. So each part will lead you to the next one. Okay, so think of it as a roadmap for your readers, and you want your readers to follow your reasoning without getting lost. Now, usually we have two types of essay prompts. I want you to have a closer look at these two types of prompts. So first, we have a two-sided argumentative essays prompt, and then we have open argumentative prompts. So I want you to have a look at these two types of prompt. The first one has two sides to the arguments. It's either positive or negative. Has the rise of internet had a positive or negative impact on education? Support your argument with essays. Now, when you start to write about it, you have to brainstorm first. So highlight important aspects of the prompt. The important aspect of the prompt are number one, internet, then positive, negative aspects, and then education. Okay? So they are asking us to support our argument, if it's negative or positive, with evidence. So this type of essay has two-sided argument, and you have to discuss about those two sides, and you will come up with your own argument and support one side. The second example is open argumentative essays, which are open prompt. For instance, what is the greatest challenge facing young people today? So you can talk about any of the challenges like internet, like AI, overspeeding, waste of time, and you have multiple problems which the young people are facing these days. So this is an open debate. So you can choose your prompt yourself. Now, after looking at your prompt, you must analyze your topic or your question or your prompt. So you have to tell us why you are choosing this side, positive, negative, or your own problem that you are suggesting. What is the subject matter of your essay, and you will raise your own voice. Of course, you will provide the evidence, but you have to integrate your stream of ideas within those evidence by the end of the each paragraph. It's up to you, or in the conclusion. Okay, so you have to give reasons to both the sides of the pictures. Now, let's look at the introduction, and then we will be looking at body paragraphs, and then we will have some examples of like introduction, body paragraphs, and conclusion. So a good introduction has an introductory sentence, of course, and it has a thesis statement. Okay, now let's have a look at sample, and I want you to read it, and I have color coded it. So yeah, so we have red and green. So we have the introductory sentence here and the thesis statement. So I'll give you some time to read, and then we will move on to next slide. This is just a sample, and you have like rich sources on internet, but this is a simple one. Yes, I was giving you some time to read through the sample. This is the sample for your introductory paragraph. So the first sentence is just like a general introduction of your paragraph. Like this paragraph is going to be about, yeah, sure. I would love you to send in your examples of introduction, like which included an introductory sentence and a thesis statement. Like for instance, we were talking about the internet and how it is impacting young people negatively or positively. So here we have a general introduction at the beginning. It has had transformed education, providing students and teachers with information and exposure to diverse perspectives, right? So this is a general introduction. But then we will move on to the thesis statement where we will argue that there are some teachers who are worried about its effects, both positive and negative, right? But the benefit of using internet is in academic context far outweigh the potential drawbacks. So you're more than welcome to discuss your own samples also, but let's have a look at the simple one for now. That the thesis statement is arguing, yeah, absolutely. We have multiple arguments to make about different, social and social issues that we are facing for now. But we have just chosen the random internet, the most favorite internet for now. We might want to talk about use of AI, social media, addiction of phones. We can talk about those also. Those are very good topics. But let's look at the, how internet has transformed, and since many people are worried about its negative impact, but there are many positive impacts also working closely together in the academic context. So this is a sample of your introduction paragraph where you have one introductory sentence and your thesis statement. Okay, so your thesis statement is going to justify your stance and what your readers are going to expect in the coming paragraph. So in this thesis statement, you can see we have mentioned teachers worry about its effect. Okay, so your readers might expect you to write something negative about internet first, but then we have to introduce benefits of using internet in academic contexts and how it is potentially overweighing the drawbacks. Now let's move on to the body. When you are developing your argument, the body of an argumentative essay is where uh, you want to have yeah, we can share the slides with you, like if you ask for it, we can share it with you. So let's move on to the body part of the essay. When you are developing your argument, the body is where you develop your argument in detail. Okay, so here you will have to present your arguments, your data, your evidence analysis, and your reasoning to convince the readers that your thesis statement is true and justified. Okay, now when you are making your body paragraph, when you are writing and working on your body paragraph, you should introduce topic sentence, or rather you must introduce topic sentence, then you will use evidence, counter evidence, and then final sentence or conclusion sentence. I must add, with the evidence and counter evidence, you are advised to give examples. Okay, so if you give examples, it will further strengthen your research skills as well as your credibility as a writer. Okay, now let's have a look at sample paragraph. Again, this is related to internet because we wrote about internet in the introduction. I want you to read through it. You can see we have a topic sentence. I have divided it in subheadings for your ease. It has topic sentence, it has evidence, evidence with examples, and then we have counter evidence, and then we have a conclusion sentence. Please have a look, and then we will move on. So as we see clearly that the paragraph is going to talk about important tool for learning process. Okay, and why it is important? Because it gives us information, quick and easy information. Okay. It's up to you. If you, it's up to you. There are two types of, how you, if you can do it side by side. In one paragraph you can give us evidence and counter evidence. It's a very good idea, but you can do it the other way around. You can write one paragraph with, arguments, and the second paragraph with counter arguments. It's up to you, but I have merged it just for your convenience for today's session. So here you have evidence how the internet is able to provide wide range of information for education purpose. And then we are giving the counter argument that this could be very distracting and leading students to unreliable information, right? Just to balance out the evidence, we are giving the counter evidence. Okay, while this is true in so many cases, but through proper guidance and digital literacy, it can help our students to search online wisely. Okay. Uh, Mariam, if you are doing the brainstorming, like if you're doing your first draft and second draft, you can use headings and subheadings, yes. But when you're creating a final product, you don't use the subheadings or within the essay. Those should be excluded. You are just writing your paragraphs. Go ahead, do first draft and second draft because they give you more clarity. Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. AI can give you information, but go ahead, verify that information. This is the best thing you can do. And wallahi, it will improve your research skills also. You will become an ardent reader when you will believe in researching and verifying the resources. So in this particular piece of paragraph, you can see we started with the topic sentence. It has a controlling idea. We are given evidence with examples. Then we are giving counter evidence to smooth the transition, to accentuate our learning and our research. But we have given the rebuttal of the counter evidence that by providing, helpful guidance, students can source wisely. Then we are ending this paragraph with the conclusion sentence that therefore when used carefully, the internet becomes a powerful tool that support research, creativity, and lifelong learner. So with the conclusion sentence, what you want to do is you can do two things. Either you do the paraphrasing or rephrasing the topic sentence, or you can end your paragraph with the summary of your overall, thinking process from the paragraph. You can do these two things, paraphrasing or summary. Now let's move on to when you are supporting your argument. One important thing when you're writing an argumentative essay is to strengthen your argument. And to do this, you need to base your arguments on sound evidence and ideas and proofs. Okay, so in supporting your argument, the arguments that you can verify through facts, example, or support from authority or opinions from experts, it's going to make your argument stronger and more valid. For instance, if you say, in my point of view, internet is very good for the students, no one is going to believe you. Why would someone believe you? Because you are not backing your claim with, a good source. Okay, or authentic source that could be taken from an authority, from researchers, or from experts' opinion. We will have a look at useful words and phrases to start your argument, or bring a flow to your sentences. Like, yes, you agree with the counter argument, but then you introduce but to show the evidence as a rebuttal. Or, although I agree to a point, I still insist. Now, if you look at the language itself is very polite and it's agreeable, right? You are being respectful to different other counter arguments, but then you are reinstating your own argument while staying polite. See how you can agree with different viewpoints, but you can also do the rebuttal by introducing your point to refute those claims. So these are just few of the words and phrases I have, but you have multiple other Words and phrases you can go through, you can research online, and you can use those. So the beauty of these words and phrases is they are very respectful and polite. When you are concluding your argument or writing a conclusion, you are doing it with a strong closing statement, right? Sometimes we can just sum up, wrap up everything, okay? But it also depends upon the prompt that has been given to you. For example, if the prompt asks you to give your opinion, you want to end the essay with your opinion also, okay? So let's have a look at this conclusion, which is in accordance with the topic that we were going through before about the use of internet in the classrooms. So let's have a look. The internet has greatly benefited education by enhancing communication, research, and interactive learning. While some risks exist, its flexibility and accessibility, especially in distance learning, make it a valuable tool that educators should embrace. Now, this is a very carefully written conclusion, and I want you to have a look at the language itself, right? It is giving us the positives of the internet or the topic in discussion, and simultaneously it is mentioning, yes, there are some risks, but how can we avoid the risks to have greater benefits of the internet. So in a nutshell, this conclusion summarizes your findings. So yes, we can summarize the findings in the conclusion. We can also include your own opinion if asked to. Now let's have a look at some, transitions and cohesion. We use linking words to guide the readers. It's important to help your readers to, glide through the ideas. It helps your ideas to flow smoothly. There are many words like however, therefore, moreover. There's so many expressions that you can use to have fluency in your paragraphs. Now we have some, transition signals that we can use to bring more clarity and cohesion in the paragraphs. Now I have introduced 7 types of, common transition signals here. Okay. Now these are very important and very interesting. I have also given you samples or example sentences so that you can go ahead and read them for your own convenience. The first types of, transition signals are how to introduce an argument or a point, right? So we have first of all, to begin with, moreover, further, or furthermore, in addition. It's more important to note something like that. Okay. The second group of words are used to give reasons or causes of something, right? So these are the normal general words that we use for our writings. The third group of words are used to showcase the contrast or counter argument, right? For example, if you have given an argument and now you want to introduce a counter argument, you will use however, nevertheless, on the other hand, in contrast. So like these are good words to show the contrast. The fourth group has words to provide examples or evidence. So you can have a look at the screen, and these are like, phrases and words we use to give examples. Like for example, for instance, such as, to illustrate, specifically, and of course you can read the example sentences. Now, the fifth group of the words are used to show emphasis or strengthen a point. Okay, if you want to bring emphasis on certain aspect of your argument, you use these words like indeed, in fact, clearly, obviously, undoubtedly, above all. So these are like some examples to bring an emphasis on your argument. Group number 6 is about acknowledging opposing ideas or opposing argument. So it is these group of words bring the balance in your, argumentative essay, where you are acknowledging counter arguments in a very respectful way, like while it is true that, or although some people believe that, right? You can change the phrases according to your convenience also. For example, you want to mention some researcher, you want to name some researcher, or give, throw light back to relevant, resources. So you can mention those resources also. And the last group of words are used to conclude or summarize your essays, like in conclusion, to sum up, in summary, all in all. So these are just sample transition signals. Now, let's move on to paragraph unity and coherence. Yes, Ms. Shahad, although the person said so. Yeah. So you mentioned although the Fala critic said so, or Fala agency or researcher said so, but then you will introduce your own argument with the relevant resource. Absolutely. Now, when we talk about paragraph unity and coherence, we must be focused on bringing about, you know, bringing on, highlighting the importance of one main idea. Because when you are trying to write a coherent paragraph or coherent essay, you want to make sure that everything is unified. So each paragraph should develop one main idea that is your topic. Okay. So that's why we start with the topic sentence, we support with evidence, and we conclude with analysis. Okay. So this keeps your essay coherent, and it is easier for your readers to follow. That is the reason. And think of each paragraph as mini argument that supports your overall thesis. Now, when we talk about using impactful language, as we all know, words have power, and choosing precise and strong language can make your argument more convincing. And instead of saying good, you might want to say it is effective or compelling or convincing. Okay. So avoid using vague language or emotional words like always or really or very, because these are like not too academic, as well as these are very emotional words. So you have to be very precise with your language. It should be academic and convincing. Additionally, your language should be very polite yet strong. Now, rhetorical appeals, let's talk about it. So this is basically focused on Aristotle's three rhetorical appeals: ethos, pathos. So when we are combining the logic, that is known as logos. Basically, these three words are from Greek origin, and ethos is credibility of your source, and pathos is emotion, and logos is logic. So if you are blending in all these three for your arguments, right, it will bring out the essence of your research. Okay. For instance, if you make a claim which is supported by credible studies, which is illustrated with a relatable example and logical reasoning, you can create an amazing argument. Okay. And of course, you can argue against counter arguments also. So it's not just babbling or jotting down the words only, but how to combine all these three things in a very logical way. So it will make your argument more engaging and convincing. Your tone and style should be balanced and academic. Avoid personal biases or overgeneralization. We should never generalize when you're writing about something. Okay. So don't make high-fi claims about something. Avoid sounding aggressive, and Phrases like everyone knows or this is obvious, like this, they look very, very childlike, right? And it weakens your credibility also. So when you're writing, if you're using a professional tone with your reader, uh, people will agree with, the arguments that we are making when they are sounding really academic and respectful and convincing. So, like, let's avoid sweeping statements. Or you cannot mention someone from your personal life, like my mother thinks that this should be done like this. Of course, your mother is right, but you should provide an evidence behind why your mother said that. Let's move on. So if you're using AI tools, use them wisely. So we love using AI tools. And of course, AI is there to support and assist and facilitate our journey of language learning, of writing, of learning new things. But we should use the thing wisely. There are so many AI tools, like we all use Grammarly, ChatGPT, we have Gemini, we have many good AI search engines. We should use them to check clarity. We can use them to check the grammar or flow of the essay, but we should not rely on them to write your essay for yourself, right? You cannot ask your AI to write an essay and then you claim that this is my essay. Like, don't do this, because it obviously your voice is more authentic, right? Think you are the one who is providing a prompt to your AI, and think of AI as a helpful editor rather than your writer. Okay. Um, so before submitting your essay to your teacher, there is a checklist for you. You need to go through a quick checklist, like you need to find out, is your argument clear? Does it flow logically? Is your argument strong and relevant? And please check your grammar and style. Look at the tense that you have employed in your sentences. If it's consistent, make sure that you are citing the sources properly, if any, if you are doing the citation in your writing. So before submitting, you should do a thorough revision, and it's going to be helpful to write great essays. Yes, you're not using as ghostwriter. You're right. I was about to say that. Thank you for mentioning it. Now keep calm and write the essays. So good readers are good writers, by the way. So before starting to write something, you should read as much as you can. Make it as a habit. It's a good hobby. There are many students who love reading, and readers, they show that they're good writers. Likewise, the good listeners are good speakers. So it's the rule of thumb. Now this is a reflection prompt for you, so I would encourage you to scan this. Okay, so this has one prompt. So I would like you to scan it and give your reflection of this. Yes, of course, Mariam, you're right. We still use AI as brainstorming tool. Yeah, we love using it. So there is nothing bad about using AI. But the thing is, we should use it responsibly. See, we are the ones who are using it, so we should be in control of everything, all the aspects of learning. So I hope you have scanned the reflection prompt. Yes. Um, so once you can join it, and like, it's just one prompt, and you can join it by scanning the prompt, and I'll share the screen with you. And I want you to give your opinion on this given prompt. Give me a second. Yeah, so we'll be able to look at it together. You should try alone first. Yes, Shahad, you're right. So far, only 4 people have joined, 5, that's good. And we can see what they're writing through. So the prompt is, what's one change you will make in your next essay to strengthen your argument? So, yep, let's read through the comments. Use AI to brainstorming and discuss with more people. Try to find the strongest argument to write and support our ideas, adding more evidence, very good. Adding opposing or contrasting statements, excellent. State the idea clearly in the beginning, absolutely, I love it. Agree the other ideas, then argue with my points, absolutely. That's the point. That's the key to write good argumentative essay. Adding more evidence, lovely. Good idea. Create checklists, absolutely. And what else? Adding examples and expert opinions, oh, absolutely. Make it more structured, lovely. It will be more uh, it will be more convenient to add up things, right? Absolutely. Try to see both points and evidence and go systematically. That's incredible. That's what argumentative essay is about. Avoid common language. Absolutely. Avoid using informal language. Be more academic. Use linking words to make the sentences more complex. Absolutely. Use AI to get ideas and help brainstorming, find good evidence. Lovely. Good ideas. Thank you very much. Muhammad Hussein says, I will definitely compare the given point with my previous background. Absolutely. It's a good point to follow writing an argumentative essay. Using linking words, strengthen my argument, key opening transition, that's very good. So we have multiple diverse ideas, adding statistics to support our evidence, very good. Consistent style. I just realized I tend to write points with, different tones. So they are giving is their personal, experience. Read before writing. Yeah, that's what I was saying. Good readers are good writers. Use stronger evidence and explain it more clearly. That's good. Use more diverse, credible sources to strengthen my argument. That's beautiful. We should do that. Okay, thank you very much, everyone, for joining in for today. I'm so glad that you joined in. And let me go back to the slides, and so that you can scan the QR code to be able to give the feedback. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dr. Rabia. It is such an amazing presentation. You went over
You're welcome,
such
Mr.
very key points when it comes to writing essays in general, but also argumentative essays specifically.
Thank you so much.
There are a couple of questions from the audience. One of them was by Mr. Musab. He asked, should I put examples in the introduction?
Introduction is basically it should have an introductory part and thesis statement. So basically it builds the ground for you to have a thesis beforehand, and you can put the examples in the body paragraphs, not in the introduction. Introduction should be short and concise.
Hmm. Indeed. He also has another question. When is it advised to flip the evidence and counter evidence?
Okay, so it's a very good question. Thank you very much for asking. So when you are giving a counter argument, you just not throw in the counter argument. You give example or proof for your counter argument, like why you have introduced that counter argument in that particular paragraph, and then you go ahead and give the example for the counter argument. Then this is the good time to introduce your rebuttal with your own evidence or ideas to support your stance and to provide persuasion for the readers to back up your idea, right? So if you're throwing in the counter argument, bring the evidence or example with that, and then you can introduce your rebuttal after that. So you can do, the construction of writing in two different ways. One, in each paragraph, you are giving argument and counter argument with the evidence, or you can give, one paragraph with counter argument and the second paragraph with your argument. It depends how much information you have and how you want to use that information in your paragraphs. You're welcome, everyone. I'm reading your
Thank you.
reading your comments. That's good. It's refreshing to reread the comments. Any other question, Ms. Dora?
Actually, I do have a question. Um, it's how do you keep focus? Sometimes when you write an essay, you kind of tend to let's say, over express or your ideas in one point and kind of forget to focus on other points as well or give them due diligence, let's say. So how do you maintain a balance between your argument and your counter argument?
Okay, it's a beautiful question, and many writers face this, writer block, where they are overwhelmed with an ocean of ideas, and they want to they are really stuck in between those thousands of ideas. So what I advise the students to do is to brainstorm first, and write the ideas in points, and then write the relevance of those points with the topic itself. So you can, let's say in the beginning you are introducing 20 ideas, then you narrow it down to the ideas which are useful and appropriate for your topic, and then you can go ahead from that brainstorming session and elaborate those phrases or words of ideas into sentences. Okay, and try to see which sentences or ideas can group together to define one greater objective, and then cancel or delete the other ideas which are not too relevant with your theme or your topic. Yeah, that's what I recommend my students to do.
That's a great point.
Someone's
Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Rabia.
Thank you, Ms. Dua. Thank you for a very informative, excellent presentation on a very important topic. I'm sure everyone could see the benefit of such of this discussion, not only in writing an argumentative essay, but even in any kind of academic research article. We need to employ or rely on some argumentative or building arguments to strengthen our position. I think now we're approaching the end of our workshop. It's almost 8. Um, so just to close, thanking Dr. Rabia again and our audience and our chair today, Ms. Dua. Thank you so much, and see you all in our next session.
Thank you, Dr. Sohal, once again for providing me the opportunity to present, and enjoy the rest of the day. Ma salama.